The 1970 no mint mark quarter dollar is one of those fascinating coins that often surprises collectors and enthusiasts with its hidden value, and understanding its details is essential for anyone interested in numismatics. To begin with, the coin belongs to the Washington Quarter series, which was first introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial birth anniversary of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design of the Washington Quarter has remained iconic, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse, a design created by John Flanagan, while the reverse features the majestic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing both strength and peace. The 1970 quarter itself was struck during a time of transition in American coinage, and it is especially notable when it comes without a mint mark, since most quarters from this era were minted either in Denver with a D mint mark or San Francisco with an S mint mark for proof coins. A coin without a mint mark typically indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, which in 1970 did not use a mint mark at all, and this fact alone makes the no mint mark variety highly collectible, especially in well-preserved or uncirculated conditions. The coin is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, weighing about 5.67 grams, and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter with a reeded edge. On its surface, the obverse depicts the bold and familiar profile of Washington facing left, inscribed with the word liberty above and the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left, while the date 1970 rests just below the bust. The reverse, as always during this era, features the eagle in a powerful stance, with the legend United States of America arched above, the denomination quarter dollar below, and the national motto A Pluribus Unum prominently, displayed between the wings. What makes the 1970 no mint mark quarter fascinating is not just its design, but its scarcity and desirability among collectors, as this coin can fetch significant sums depending on condition, strike quality, and collector demand. In circulated grades, the coin may look like an ordinary quarter, yet when found in mint state grades, particularly those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, its value increases dramatically. High-grade examples, especially MS-65 or above, can command prices in the hundreds to thousands of dollars, with certain rare conditions reaching up to $2,400 or more in today's numismatic market. The key factor contributing to its high value is its rarity in pristine condition, as most quarters from 1970 entered circulation and were used extensively, leaving fewer examples in uncirculated states. Collectors also prize die varieties, errors, and high-quality strikes from this year, making some coins more sought after than others. For example, off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchets have been documented and often sell for substantial premiums. The 1970 no mint mark quarter is also part of a larger story in numismatics, where small details such as missing mint marks or minting errors transform ordinary circulating coins into extraordinary treasures. For many collectors, owning such a coin is not only about monetary value, but also about holding a piece of American history and craftsmanship. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the no mint mark quarters in 1970, was known for its massive output, yet only a small percentage survived in gem quality, adding to the allure of finding one today. Another important aspect is the historical backdrop of 1970, a time of cultural and political change in the United States, which adds additional context and significance to coins minted during this period. While millions of 1970 quarters were struck, those without a mint mark and in pristine, uncirculated, or proof-like condition are what bring the serious money at auctions. The most notable sales have seen these coins climb toward the $2,400 mark, depending on rarity, strike, and grade. Collectors often advise checking rolls of quarters or inherited coin collections carefully because even a single well-preserved 1970 no mint mark quarter could represent a small fortune. To maximize value, submitting such a coin to a professional grading service is highly recommended, as certified grades from PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, offer both authentication and proper market recognition, increasing buyer confidence. Collectors tend to prioritize coins with strong luster, sharp strikes, and minimal surface marks, all of which can push the price higher. While circulated examples typically trade for modest premiums above face value, uncirculated and gem-quality coins are where the dramatic jumps in price occur. The $2,400 valuation reflects high-end market sales, particularly for coins graded MS67 or better, which are extremely rare. Another contributing factor is the growing demand for Washington quarters as part of registry sets, where collectors aim to assemble the finest known sets by grade, often paying premiums to secure top population coins. For this reason, competition in auction houses and online marketplaces continues to drive up values. Furthermore, the 1970 no-mint mark quarter has become a coin of interest in educational numismatic circles, serving as a great example of how everyday change can hide treasures, reinforcing the importance of closely examining even common-looking coins. Many casual collectors or even non-collectors have been surprised to discover that an old quarter sitting in a drawer or passed down through family can be worth far more than 25 cents. The coin therefore not only represents monetary value, but also serves as a reminder of the thrill of the hunt in coin collecting, where history, artistry, and rarity all combine. The Washington Quarter series itself has transitioned over time, with the 1970 no-mint mark quarter being part of the pre-bicentennial era before the reverse design was temporarily changed in 1975-1976 to celebrate America's 200th birthday. This gives the 1970 coin additional contextual value, as it stands among the last of the classic eagle reverse designs before major changes in the series. In conclusion, the 1970 no-mint mark quarter dollar may appear ordinary at first glance, but its rarity and top condition and its growing desirability among collectors make it an exceptional coin with a market value reaching as high as $2,400. For collectors, it represents not just an investment, but also a connection to American history and the artistry of U.S. coinage. Whether discovered in a coin roll, inherited collection, or auction lot, this coin continues to capture attention and inspire fascination. The key takeaway for anyone interested in numismatics is to always look closely at dates, mint marks, and conditions, because coins like the 1970 no-mint mark quarter remind us that sometimes extraordinary value hides in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered by those with an eye for detail and an appreciation for history. Next up, the 1973 no-mint mark quarter dollar is one of the most fascinating and collectible coins in American numismatic history, a piece that at first glance might appear to be just an ordinary Washington quarter, yet in reality carries a story of rarity, collector demand, an impressive market value that can reach as high as $2,700, depending on its grade and condition. This quarter belongs to the Washington Quarter series, a coin type first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and designed by John Flanagan with Washington's left-facing bust on the obverse and a heraldic bald eagle on the reverse, symbols that became instantly recognizable in American coinage. The obverse of the 1973 quarter bears the inscriptions "Liberty" above, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the year 1973 positioned just below Washington's portrait, while the reverse shows the bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, surrounded by the inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and "Quarter Dollar." In terms of technical details, the coin has a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a composition of copper nickel clad over a pure copper core, with a reeded edge adding to its durability and distinct feel. What makes the 1973 No mint mark quarter especially significant is its place in the Philadelphia Mint's production, since coins from this facility at that time did not carry a mint mark, making the absence of one a characteristic rather than an error. However, while millions of quarters were struck in Philadelphia in 1973, the real rarity lies in finding examples that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition or with unique minting qualities such as sharp strikes, full details, or proof-like surfaces, all of which can push the coin's market value dramatically upward. Most circulated 1973 quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents, but collectors place high premiums on coins that have been well preserved, particularly those that grade MS65 or higher through professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. At these higher grades, the coin's value can climb into the hundreds, and in extremely rare top grades such as MS67, prices have been recorded reaching up to $2,700, reflecting both scarcity and intense competition among collectors who aim to build the finest Washington quarter sets. The 1973 no mint mark quarter also has an added layer of interest because of the period in which it was minted, a time just before the major bicentennial redesign of the Washington quarter in 1975 and 1976, which temporarily replaced the eagle, reverse with a special colonial drummer design to celebrate America's 200th anniversary. This makes the 1973 issue one of the final years of the classic eagle reverse before the change, adding historical importance for collectors who appreciate transitional periods in U.S. coinage. Another reason this coin is so appealing is the possibility of mint errors, such as double die obverses, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planche, which are rare but can command huge premiums at auction, often surpassing the already impressive $2,700 valuation for high-grade. Standard examples. Collectors should also note the importance of luster, eye appeal, and strike quality, since these factors play major roles in determining value. Coins with clean surfaces, brilliant shine, and crisp details are always the ones that attract the most attention and highest bids. Because so many 1973 quarters entered circulation, finding one in mint condition is extremely difficult, and this scarcity drives up the demand. For this reason, coin roll hunters and collectors alike are encouraged to check carefully through old rolls, inherited collections, or even pocket change, as the potential discovery of a gem-quality 1973 no mint mark quarter could be life-changing. Auctions and online marketplaces such as Heritage Auctions or eBay have seen bidding wars over these high-grade examples, reflecting the passion within the numismatic community for even seemingly modern coins that hide extraordinary value. Another important consideration is the role of registry set collectors, who compete to assemble the highest graded sets of Washington quarters, often paying well above market value to secure coins that will boost their rankings. And this competition directly contributes to the rising prices of coins like the 1973 no mint mark quarter. The Philadelphia Mint's role in producing such coins adds to their authenticity and significance, as the lack of a mint mark not only identifies its origin, but also serves as a key point of differentiation from the Denver or San Francisco issues of the same year. When properly graded and encapsulated, these coins gain both credibility and liquidity in the market, allowing them to fetch top dollar when sold. The historical context also enriches its appeal, as 1973 was a time of major cultural and political shifts in America, and holding a coin from this year provides a tangible link to that era. Many collectors see these coins as more than just monetary items. They are historical artifacts, symbols of design evolution, and pieces of art in miniature form. The thrill of discovering a coin like this is what drives so much excitement in the hobby, as ordinary change can unexpectedly contain extraordinary value. For new collectors, the 1973 no mint mark quarter serves as a lesson in paying attention to details such as mint marks, dates, and condition, while for advanced collectors, it represents a high-stakes chase for a rare gem that can add prestige to their collection. In conclusion, the 1973 no mint mark quarter dollar is a coin of immense numismatic value, capable of reaching market prices up to $2,700 when found in the highest grades, and its blend of rarity, history, and collector demand ensures it remains one of the standout pieces from the Washington Quarter series. Whether it's examined for its artistry, studied for its historical significance, or pursued as an investment, this coin continues to capture the imagination of collectors worldwide, reminding us that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to recognize their worth and preserve them for future generations. Next up, the 1972 no mint mark quarter dollar is an interesting and collectible coin from the Washington Quarter series, a coin that at first seems like ordinary pocket change but actually carries numismatic significance and collector value, especially in higher grades where it can reach a market value of around $400. To understand this coin properly, we need to begin with its background. The Washington Quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, with a design by John Flanagan that has since become one of the most recognizable in American coinage. History. The obverse of the coin features the bold portrait of George Washington facing left, with the word Liberty arched above, the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left side of Washington's profile, and the date 1972 at the IR bottom. On the reverse, the coin displays a heraldic bald eagle with its wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows symbolizing defense, while olive branches underneath represent peace, all surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, with the Latin phrase E pluribus unum above the eagle. The technical specifications of the 1972 quarter include a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a composition of copper-nickel-clad layered over a pure copper core with a reeded edge to discourage clipping and add durability. What makes the 1972 no mint mark quarter distinct is its origin from the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not use a mint mark, meaning the absence of a mint mark is not an error, but rather the normal characteristic of coins struck in Philadelphia. Still, for collectors, the 1972 no mint mark quarter holds interest, because while millions were minted, very few survived in pristine, gem-quality condition, and those are the examples that attract strong demand in the numismatic market. In circulated condition, most 1972 quarters remain worth only their face value of 25 cents, but when found in uncirculated or mint state condition, particularly MS65 or higher, they can be worth much more, with values climbing into the hundreds of dollars. High-grade coins certified by professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, often fetch the strongest prices, as grading provides assurance of authenticity, strike quality, and preservation. The $400 valuation reflects those rare, well-preserved coins that are free from heavy marks, exhibit strong luster, and have excellent eye appeal, making them attractive to both seasoned collectors and those working on registry sets. The 1972 quarter is also notable because it falls into the era just before the bicentennial redesign of 1975-1976, when the traditional eagle reverse was temporarily replaced with the colonial drummer boy design to commemorate America's 200th birthday, which gives the 1972 issue historical significance as one of the last years of the classic eagle reverse before that transition. Collectors also prize this year because certain error coins and varieties exist, such as double-die obverses, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planche, which can dramatically increase the value far beyond $400, sometimes reaching thousands depending on rarity and demand. Another factor that drives value is collector competition, particularly in registry sets, where individuals compete to assemble the finest known collections of Washington quarters. This competition creates a strong market for top-graded 1972 quarters, as there are relatively few in grades like MS-67, making them scarce and highly desirable. Auctions and sales records show that while ordinary examples are easy to find, gem-quality coins are far more elusive, explaining why prices can spike so sharply when one comes up for sale. From a historical perspective, the 1972 no mint mark quarter also reflects the economic and cultural atmosphere of its time, a period when coinage was transitioning firmly into the copper-nickel-clad era following the removal of silver from circulating quarters in 1965. And coins like this represented the durable and modern face of U.S. currency. For coin roll hunters, the 1972 quarter remains an exciting discovery, because although most are common, there is always the chance of finding a high-grade example. Tucked away in circulation or in an old collection, and with professional grading, that coin could end up being worth hundreds. The importance of condition cannot be overstated, since most circulated examples show heavy wear, scratches, and dull surfaces, while the few that have survived with brilliant luster and sharp detail stand out dramatically. Collectors are advised to carefully examine coins for strike sharpness, lack of contact marks, and strong visual appeal, as these are the qualities that can elevate a coin into the $400 value range. In addition, many hobbyists find personal and historical meaning in the 1972 quarter, seeing it as more than just money, but as a piece of American history, representing artistry, symbolism, and the heritage of U.S. coinage. The Washington portrait, designed by Flanagan, has endured as one of the most iconic coin designs in history, and coins like the 1972 quarter carry that legacy forward. The eagle reverse, which was used for decades, also holds nostalgic value for collectors who appreciate the traditional imagery of strength and unity. While the coin may not seem extraordinary at first glance, the story of its value lies in the details: mint origin, grade, strike, and preservation, all of which combine to make the 1972 no mint mark quarter a collectible item that can surprise both new and experienced numismatists. The lesson here is that even modern-era coins can hold substantial value, and every coin deserves a close look, as even an ordinary-seeming quarter can hide a treasure. In conclusion, the 1972 no mint mark Washington quarter is a coin that embodies the enduring appeal of American coinage, and although millions were minted, the true rarity lies in high-grade examples that have been preserved with care. With a market value that can reach up to $400 in gem condition, this coin illustrates how history, design, rarity, and collector demand all intersect to transform a common coin into a prized possession. Whether studied as a historical artifact, pursued as part of a registry set, or discovered unexpectedly in circulation, the 1972 no mint mark quarter continues to fascinate collectors, proving that hidden value often lies in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those with an eye for detail and a passion for numismatics. Next up, the 1980 D Washington quarter dollar is one of those fascinating coins that collectors often overlook at first glance, but upon closer inspection, it holds significant historical and numismatic importance. Struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark placed just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse, this coin is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. By 1980, the Washington Quarter had already been circulating for nearly 5 decades, and although most pieces were produced in huge numbers for everyday commerce, some varieties, errors, and especially well-preserved examples can carry substantial collector premiums today. The 1980 D quarter was made of the standard copper-nickel-clad composition that replaced 90% silver in 1965. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge, all consistent with the modern quarter specifications. The obverse features John Flanagan's famous portrait of George Washington, while the reverse depicts an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, a design used until the state quarters program began in 1999, New para 1. Of the most important factors that determines the value of a 1980 D Washington quarter is its condition and grade. Circulated examples typically trade only at face value since millions were produced and most survive in worn condition. However, uncirculated examples graded MS65 and above can be far more desirable. The luster, strike quality, and absence of contact marks play major roles in the grading process. Coins in gem condition with strong eye appeal often sell for significantly higher prices than average examples. Professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC can greatly enhance market value because it certifies authenticity and condition, giving collectors confidence in their purchase. In high mint state grades, such as MS67, the 1980 D quarter becomes scarcer, as very few examples survive with pristine surfaces and sharp details. New para. Another element that makes the 1980 D quarter intriguing is the presence of mint errors and die varieties. Collectors are always on the lookout for double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and other unusual minting mistakes that slipped past quality control at the Denver Mint. Such errors can dramatically increase a coin's desirability and value. For example, a 1980 D quarter with a strong double die obverse showing doubling on Washington's motto, "In God We Trust," or the word liberty, would attract strong bidding in auctions. Similarly, a coin struck off-center or with partial collar errors may sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity and visibility of the mistake. These varieties are rare compared to regular strike coins, and their uniqueness fuels collector demand. New para. Beyond errors and grade, the historical context of the coin also adds to its charm. In 1980, the U.S. economy was grappling with high inflation, and the purchasing power of the quarter had already shifted compared to earlier decades. Coins from this period represent an important snapshot of American economic history. The Denver Mint itself played a vital role in producing large quantities of circulating coinage during this time. In fact, the 1980 D quarter had a mintage of over 518 million coins, a huge number that ensured its widespread circulation across the nation. Despite the large mintage, pristine high-grade examples remain challenging to find because most entered commerce immediately and experienced heavy use. New para. The design significance of the Washington quarter should not be overlooked. The portrait of George Washington has become one of the most iconic images in U.S. coinage history. John Flanagan's artwork, though criticized by some early collectors for its simplicity, has endured for decades as a symbol of American heritage. Collectors of Washington quarters often pursue complete date and mint mark sets, which means that the 1980 D is an essential piece in the series. While not as rare as early silver issues or low mintage varieties, it still holds value as part of the larger historical continuum of the Washington quarter. New para. From an investment perspective, the 1980 D Washington quarter is a coin that can serve both beginners and advanced numismatists. For beginners, it provides an accessible entry point into coin collecting since circulated examples are easy to obtain. For advanced collectors, the challenge lies in acquiring high-grade examples, or rare error varieties which can be worth considerably more. Some gem-quality examples with exceptional toning, such as vibrant rainbow colors caused by natural chemical reactions on the coin's surface, have sold for impressive premiums in auctions, as toning adds to a coin's aesthetic appeal and uniqueness. New para. Today, the market value of a 1980 D Washington quarter in typical circulated condition is only 25 cents, but uncirculated examples can command higher prices. In mint state 65, the coin may be valued at around $15–25, depending on eye appeal. Exceptional high-grade examples in MS67 or better can reach several $100s, as these are genuinely scarce. Meanwhile, unique errors and high-quality varieties can push values even further. On average, collectors estimate the market value of a noteworthy 1980 D quarter to be about $200, especially for error coins, toned examples, or high-grade certified pieces. This figure represents the premium that serious collectors are willing to pay for standout specimens in the current numismatic market. Nupera. The popularity of Washington quarters also means that the 1980 D coin benefits from strong collector demand. Many enthusiasts build year sets, mint mark sets, or complete Washington quarter runs, ensuring that each year's issue, including 1980 D, remains desirable. Its status as a clad coin from the late 20th century makes it less glamorous than silver issues, but demand for high-quality clad coins has grown significantly in recent decades, especially as collectors seek to complete modern series with coins in top condition. Nupera. For those who own or discover a 1980 D Washington quarter, in change, the first step is to carefully inspect its condition. If it appears uncirculated or has unusual features, it may be worth submitting to a grading service for authentication. Even common-looking coins can hide doubled dies or subtle mint errors that, once identified, can dramatically boost their value. Coin enthusiasts often recommend using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine details like lettering, date, mint mark, and edge for anomalies. Nupera. Collecting coins like the 1980 D Washington quarter is about more than just financial gain. It connects individuals to the nation's history, the artistry of coinage, and the fascinating process of minting. Every scratch, mark, and detail tells a story of where the coin has been and what era it represents. For the 1980 D, that story includes a time of economic challenges, high production minting, and the ongoing popularity of Washington's image in American culture. Next up, the 1968 No Mint Mark Washington Quarter. Dollar holds an especially interesting place in U.S. numismatics, as it comes from a transitional time in American coinage. The Washington Quarter series, first released in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, had already established itself as one of the most iconic circulating coins in the country. By 1968, several significant changes had taken place, most notably the removal of silver from circulating quarters in 1965, when the U.S. Mint adopted the copper-nickel clad composition to reduce costs and preserve silver for other uses. The 1968 No Mint Mark quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not use a mint mark, making it distinct from quarters struck in Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, that year. Nupera. The 1968 No Mint Mark quarter is made from a copper-nickel clad composition with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and carries the standard reeded edge. On the obverse is John Flanagan's enduring bust of George Washington, facing left with the inscriptions, "Liberty, In God We Trust," and the date, 1968. The reverse design, used until the introduction of the state quarters in 1999, features a majestic heraldic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing both strength and peace. This classic design remained in use for nearly 7 decades, cementing its place in American coinage history. Nupera. One of the most important factors in determining the value of a 1968 No Mint Mark quarter is its condition and grade. Because millions of these coins were produced, most circulated heavily, and today are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition are far scarcer. A coin graded MS-65, gem uncirculated, may be valued at $25–50, while those in MS-67 or higher become much rarer and can command hundreds of dollars. Collectors particularly seek coins with sharp strikes, original mint luster, and minimal contact marks. Professional third-party grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, play a critical role in authenticating and certifying these coins, which often enhances their market value significantly. Nupara. The rarity of high-grade examples cannot be overstated. While the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of 1968 quarters, very few survived in pristine condition without wear. Coins that were immediately pulled from circulation and carefully preserved have the best chance of achieving these high grades. Collectors willing to pay premiums for such coins often drive values into the hundreds, and in rare cases, examples with exceptional qualities, such as deeply mirrored proof-like surfaces or outstanding rainbow toning, have sold for $500 or more. Nupara. Another major factor influencing value is the presence of mint errors and varieties. Error coins from 1968 include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. For example, a 1968 no mint mark quarter showing strong doubling on the date or motto, "In God We Trust," would be considered highly collectible and could push its value well beyond $500. Likewise, coins struck off-center with a clear date visible are prized by error collectors. These varieties represent anomalies in the minting process, and because they are accidental and rare, they command strong premiums in the numismatic market. Nupara. Historically, the 1968 quarter represents the continuation of the copper-nickel clad era, which had begun just 3 years earlier in 1965, when the mint transitioned away from 90% silver quarters. This transition marked a significant turning point in American coinage, as the government sought to address the rising costs of silver and the widespread hoarding of silver coins by the public. By 1968, collectors and everyday Americans were still adjusting to the look and feel of the new clad coins, which had a lighter color and different ring when dropped compared to their silver predecessors. This context adds depth to the 1968 no mint mark quarter's historical significance, making it more than just a piece of currency. It's a reflection of economic and cultural change. Nupara. For collectors of Washington quarters, the 1968 no mint mark issue is an essential part of building a complete set. Enthusiasts who pursue date and mint mark collections must include this coin alongside the 1968D, Denver, and the 1968S, San Francisco proof issues. While circulated examples are easy to obtain, the challenge lies in locating gem quality or error varieties. This challenge keeps the 1968 no mint mark quarter in steady demand among numismatists. Nupara. The investment potential of the 1968 quarter is also worth noting. While it may not reach the astronomical values of key-date silver quarters from the 1930s and 1940s, its rarity in higher grades ensures that it remains a desirable coin. Collectors who specialize in modern clad quarters recognize that these coins are undervalued compared to their silver counterparts, meaning that strong appreciation could occur as more collectors seek to complete full Washington quarter series in top condition. Already, registry set collectors, those who aim to build the highest graded sets possible, have driven up auction prices for superb 1968 no mint mark quarters. Nupara. Today, the market value of the 1968 no mint mark quarter varies greatly based on condition. Circulated examples are worth only 25 cents, but uncirculated coins in mint state 65 can bring $25 or $50. Coins graded MS-67 and higher are much rarer and can easily command several $100s. In fact, standout specimens with extraordinary luster, proof-like qualities, or error characteristics are valued at around $500, making them prized possessions in the world of numismatics. These prices reflect not just rarity, but also collector demand, as Washington quarters continue to be one of the most widely collected U.S. coin series. Nupara. For everyday people, finding a 1968 no mint mark quarter in circulation today is unlikely, but not impossible. Most surviving coins are heavily worn, But the thrill of discovering one in excellent condition or with a striking error is part of what keeps coin collecting exciting. For serious collectors, however, the path lies in carefully examining coins, using magnification to check for double dies or other varieties, and considering professional grading for potential high-value specimens, new para. Ultimately, the 1968 no-mint mark Washington quarter dollar stands as a coin that bridges everyday commerce and collectible treasure. It reflects a transitional moment in U.S. monetary history, offers collectors a chance to pursue challenging high-grade examples, and delivers surprising value through rare varieties and exceptional condition pieces. With market values for the finest examples reaching $500, it demonstrates that even a seemingly common-clad quarter can achieve remarkable worth when rarity, history, and condition come together.